Today on Network Africa, hopes are fading for finding more survivors from the building that collapsed in Nairobi, Kenya, as authorities nab the owner of the building. Meanwhile, President Uhuru Kenyatta sets fire to a huge stockpile of ivory to send a message to those who trade in the product. Then, paragliding is a new high in Egypt. We take a look at the country from up above. Network Africa begins right now. Welcome to the show. I am Amarachi Ubani. We begin today with the updates on the building collapse in Kenya. We're learning the owner of the building, Samuel Karanja Kamau, has been arrested. He will be appearing in court tomorrow. Nairobi's Governor Evans Kidero says as soon as they're identified, the officials who have approved the construction of the building in the neighborhood would be sacked. And that's because the government is saying there was no permission granted to rent out 119 rooms in the 6-story building. Meanwhile, rescuers who have been working around the clock to bring as many people out of the rubble say there is no certainty that there could be any more survivors in this disaster. The death toll has risen to 21. Police have begun questioning the owner of the building. Now, according to the police, residents and rescue workers have been sifting through piles of broken concrete, as we can see there in the pictures at the site of the Eastern Huruma suburb, ever since after rescuing 135 people. But the Kenyan Red Cross says the conditions are becoming more challenging. Critics of the government of President Uhuru Kenyatta, however, say the building was set up because of corruption, which is rampant in the country. As the developers, they say, usually violate construction codes to minimize costs with little or no penalties from government. Let's turn our attention to Somalia, where violence has erupted again in the capital, Mogadishu. Al-Shabaab insurgents killed 15 Somali soldiers over the weekend and retook a town northeast of Mogadishu. Militants claim the death toll was more than that. They say they killed at least 32 soldiers in the assault. An army spokesperson said Al-Shabaab used a suicide car bomb to penetrate a military base, where the bomb then exploded and then fierce fighting followed. He says 15 soldiers died, but that the militants also recorded casualties on their end. The soldiers were said to have killed 10 of the militants in the fighting. Residents of the neighborhood say they have seen dead bodies, both of Al-Shabaab and government soldiers, littered across the town. Britain has sent an army team to Somalia as part of a United Nations mission to counter the militants there. A Ministry of Defence said the UK military's contribution to UN peacekeeping reflects a long history of supporting the organisation, including a lasting presence in Cyprus. Although an advanced party of 10 has arrived, about 70 personnel will eventually be in Somalia, carrying out medical, logistical and engineering duties. Britain also intends to send 300 troops to the conflict in South Sudan. Britain has long been a financial contributor to UN peacekeeping missions and is the 5th highest provider of funds. When we return on Network Africa, Kenya's president shows his commitment to stopping the trade in ivory. Do join us again.